Okay, the lesson which we are going today that is about the circulatory system, right? So, who can define what is circulatory system? Cycle. The system of the body which is responsible for circulating the blood, for circulating or for distributing the blood. How many type of blood will be circulated or distributed? Two types.
Two types of blood.
Yes. Which? Two types of blood, right? Yes, pure and one we have oxygenated blood and other we have deoxygenated blood.
Yes.
Oxygenated blood, the one which is clean, right, coming from lungs to the hearts, right, and circulating in the body. Other we have deoxygenated blood, the one which is collected from the body and given to the heart, and heart is given to the lungs, and lungs is cleaning it and giving back to the body, right? This entire process is called circulatory. This entire will affect the circulatory system, right? So two type of blood will circulate, oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood. Now we have two type of circulatory organs, we can say, right? So one we have artery and other we are having veins, right? The major organs for the circulatory system is heart.
What?
Heart.
Heart.
Yes, the major organ. Besides this, we have arteries and veins. What is the function of artery? What is the function of veins? So artery will take what? Artery will take oxygenated blood from the heart and will give to all parts of the body, right? And veins will collect deoxygenated blood from all cells, all tissue, all organ of the body, and it will give it to the heart, right? This is the transport between heart and body. Now we have a transport between heart and lungs. So that is opposite, right?
What's the name of the small blood vessels that make?
Yeah. One second, we are taking. More than one third. Now here, if you look, more than one third of the 1.2 million Americans who suffer a heart attack each year, right, and they die. So the reason behind this grim evidence show that the heart and the circulatory system, its powers are vital to life, right? Why it's important? If you look, heart attack. Heart attack is a disease of heart, and heart is an organ of circulatory system, right? So mean that circulatory system or the organ of circulatory system, it is important for life. So those organs which are important for the sake of life, we call it vital organs, right? Vital organs. What are the function of circulatory system? So before the function, definition is important. Circulatory system is the system of the body which circulates, right, or which transport oxygenated blood from the heart to all parts of the body and collect back deoxygenated blood from all parts of the body for oxygenation, for the process of cleaning or for the process of oxygenation, right? So this is called what? This is called circulatory system. The function of circulatory system. So the circulatory system transport, right? Function it have different, right? The circulatory system transport oxygen, beside oxygen nutrient and other substance throughout the body and remove waste from the tissue, right? So here we have some main functions. Some main function for the circulatory system. The most important function for circulatory system is the transport of oxygen, right? Because if you look, we are defining circulatory system based on the oxygen, right? Second most important function is the transport of nutrients, food particles, right? Like apple. Like apple. Not yes, right? The components of food. The components of food are carbohydrate, protein, fats, vitamins. These things, right? Inside the body, we are having nutrients, there is protein, fats, vitamins, these things will be transported. They are the food. Right? After the digestion. After the digestion, it will be transported. And other substance throughout the body, right? Beside this, other substance like other substance can be enzyme, right? Can be protein, can be any other components of the body. And beside this, remove waste from the tissue. Beside this, they can remove waste product from the body. Means they can collect it from the body and give it to the urinary system or either to the circulatory system or either we can say to the respiratory system, right? If you look, carbon dioxide is collected by what? Like it is collected by the blood from the body, right? And it is given to the respiratory system and it is being removed from the body when we are breathing out, right? Breathing in, taking oxygen, breathing out, we are giving out carbon dioxide, right? So it is removing from the body. Okay. If you look here, as I told you in the diagram, right? You can see in the diagram you can see two colors, right? Okay. Have you studied before that in the case of blood, which color represents which type of blood? Two type of blood we have, oxygenated and deoxygenated.
Yes.
Oxygenated,
Blue. Red.
Red.
oxygenated will always be the red.
Yes, yes. Red.
And deoxygenated,
Blue. What is it?
right? Deoxygenated will be the blue. So red will be arteries. Red will be arteries. The red color which you can see throughout the body, right? This all. These are arteries.
Red of what?
Arteries.
Artery.
And you can see here, right?
The-
Arteries.
the-
And the blue one which you can see throughout the body, these are veins, right? So here we have some main arteries and some main veins rising from the heart, and then it's divided and subdivided into different parts, different subparts, right? Okay, the first we have to do today, we will try to just discuss heart, right? Its part and its function. For each part of the heart, we have function. So we will try to discuss it today one by one. Then we will come to its different divisions. Now we will start from aorta, right? First point.
There is oxygen, red blood from
Okay, aorta are the main artery, right? We can say from where sub arteries arise, right? So this point, if you look here, this right, this is called what? This is called aorta. Now the function of aorta is carrying oxygen-rich blood from the left ventricle to the body. From the left ventricle to the body. Important point, right? That now when you are going to study the parts of the heart, arterial and ventricle. Arterial are divided and ventricle are divided, right? So first we have aorta, which arise from which part? Which arise from the ventricle, from the left ventricle, and it take blood from the heart and distribute in all the part of the body. So mean aorta is further divided into what? Aorta is further divided into many arteries. Aorta is the main
it carries the
artery.
blood. It carries what?
It carries blood, oxygenated blood, which are pure blood, right? Which has oxygen.
okay.
From the heart, it take from the heart and it give it to all the body.
And it comes.
Yes, it pumps to all the body part. That is first. Second, we have superior vena cava, right? Superior vena cava. This part of the heart. This is called what? This part is called.
Brings oxygen from blood.
Okay. So brings oxygen poor blood from the superior body to the right ventricle. Superior vena cava is the main vein, right? You can say, which collects deoxygenated blood, right? Oxygen poor blood. Where there is less oxygen, where there are almost no oxygen, which contain carbon dioxide. So it brings deoxygenated or oxygen poor blood from which part of the body? From the upper part of the body, right? Upper part. From the upper part of the body. Then we have right pulmonary vein, right? On this side we have right pulmonary vein, right? So right pulmonary vein bring oxygen-rich blood from the right lungs to the left atrium. Keep one thing here in mind, right? If you look here, you don't confuse with it, right? I told you that we have two cycles of the blood. One is the cycle which occurs between heart and the body part. And one is the cycle which occurs between heart and the lungs, right? So between heart and the body parts, it will be fine. Between arteries, heart, artery, then body parts. And when body parts went to heart. But in case of the other cycle, which is occurring between the heart and the lungs, so it will be opposite, right? How? Right pulmonary vein, right? So look here, here we will have oxygen-rich blood in the vein. Right pulmonary vein is that vein which brings oxygen-rich blood from the right lungs to the left arteries. You get the point? Okay. So that is the difference, right? Here, the function of right veins, we know the function of veins are what? To bring deoxygenated blood from the body, right? But here it is opposite in the cycle between lungs and the heart. Okay. The next part we have what? This part we have right atrium, right? So it accepts oxygen poor blood from the body.
That's
So
the function of the right atrium.
that is the function of the right atrium.
It's only receives the.
Yes, receive oxygen poor blood, mean deoxygenated blood, right? Right ventricle, this point, right? Right ventricle pumps oxygen poor blood to the lungs. The function of right atrium, right ventricle, right? It is right ventricle. The function of the right ventricle that it is going to pump oxygen poor blood, dead blood which comes from the body, right? So it will pump this blood to what? To the lungs. For which process? For lungs to make it oxygen rich again. Because lungs are a place from where we get oxygen from outside. It goes to the lungs. So the blood will go to the lungs and it will be oxygenated.
Oxygen poor blood means that it has not enough.
It contains carbon dioxide
Oh, okay.
and waste products. So
So
when
when
it
it
goes to the lungs,
so when it comes to the lungs and we breathe,
yes.
carbon dioxide.
In the lungs, carbon dioxide will be given to the lungs, and from the lungs, oxygen will be given to the blood. Right? So it will go back to the heart. Tricuspid wall, this interior vena cava, this part, right? Here we have superior vena cava, and this is opposite, that is interior vena cava. So it brings oxygen poor blood from lower part of the right atrium, right? From lower part of the body, it brings deoxygenated blood, right? So that is about deoxygenated blood from upper part and deoxygenated blood from the lower parts. So superior vena cava, it will bring blood from the upper body parts, and inferior vena cava, it will come deoxygenated blood from the lower part of the body. Okay. Then we have pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery is opposite to pulmonary vein. Pulmonary artery is opposite to pulmonary vein. Okay, so the function of pulmonary artery carry oxygen poor blood to the lungs. Deoxygenated blood to which part of the body? To the lungs. Right? For what? For oxygenation. Right? So you can see here the function of artery here is completely opposite to the vein. Right? So these two pulmonary arteries and pulmonary veins, they have opposite function. There, and it has opposite function to the normal arteries and veins also. Next we have lip arterium, accept oxygen rich blood from the lungs. So lip arterium, it receives oxygen rich blood from where? From the lungs. Next point we have, this is artery, right? Next point we have these 2 points, which are left pulmonary vein, right? So left pulmonary veins bring oxygen rich blood from the left lungs to the left arterium, right? From the left lungs to, okay. From the left lungs to what? From the left lungs to the left arteriums. And then we have, this is not for you, pulmonary valves. This we also check later on. Aortic valves we will check. Then we have left ventricle, right? So pulmonary pumps oxygen rich blood to the body. So it will do what? It will pump oxygen rich blood to all part of the body. That is all about the heart. Next from this we have the parts of values that we will study. Next, right? Okay. How does the heart pump blood to the body? Right? So parts you have studied, right? That which part is responsible for pumping blood or receiving blood from which part of the body? Right? Pumping like pump blood from the heart to all part of the body and receive that, right? Okay. Powerful contraction of the myocardium pump is present in the heart, right? Blood through the circulatory systems and average 72 times a minute. So it can pump blood 72 times in 1 minute, right? Pumping about 70 milliliter of the blood with each contraction. So one pump in auger, so it can pump around about 70 millimeters of the blood with each pump, right? So you can multiply 70 with 72. So that amount of blood will be pumped in 1 liter, right, by the heart in 1 minute, right? So it is too much. As a wall called septum separates the right side of the heart from the left side. the septum prevents oxygen poor and oxygen rich blood from mixing, right? So if you look in the heart, we have two sides, right? And we have four chambers in heart. We have four chambers and we have two sides. So one we have left side and other we have right side, right? In the left side we have two chambers and in the right side we have two chambers. So there is a wall which is called septum, right? It separates what? It separates. You can see this, right? This, which separates left side from the right side, right? And we know that in one side we have oxygenated blood and on the other side we have deoxygenated blood. So septum, it separates oxygenated blood from deoxygenated blood also. Okay, we will stop here, right? That's enough.
Yes.